Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's November 3rd, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. If you look here right off the coastline, you can kind of see that anticyclonic rotation, this clockwise rotation right off the coastline. That is high pressure. We've got a developing low out here. It's going to bring a fairly strong system across British Columbia and some portions of the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to have some offshore winds as we go through today, and then we're getting a little bit of a break and then another round of offshore winds as we go through the midweek period. We're going to take a look at those details. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. And right now, there are some light showers here, it looks like, across portions of Nevada, Arizona, maybe some of the desert areas, bringing out a little bit of precipitation, maybe across some of the higher peaks of the transverse range and the peninsula range, but that should be wrapping up as we go through the day today. And we've got some northerly winds we're going to be dealing with. You can kind of see that north flow down the coastline as we speak right now as well. And check this out, Eureka National Weather Service 20 to 24 feet breakers for west and northwest facing beaches. You can see Crescent City all the way down to Port Arena. And yeah, watch out. Do not turn your back on the ocean. You guys know the drill. And take a look at the wind forecast Sunday through Monday AM. Out of the north, some gusty winds. Check out Vacaville, up over 40 miles per hour. Sacramento, 35 miles per hour. And some difficult driving conditions. Watch out. And this goes through Monday morning, tomorrow morning. This is for Wednesday, though. We're going to have kind of that north-northeast flow across the region, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a stronger event. So that's what we're going to be watching here over the next couple days. This is, again, for Wednesday, November 6th. Taking a look at the beach hazard statements for some of the Bay Area. Check it out. Large breaking waves, 10 to 14 feet. Don't get caught off guard out there. This is 3 p.m. Sunday through 7 p.m. Monday. Now, we've got some dangerous fire conditions coming up for some portions of Southern California as well, which is always the case when you get these offshore winds. You get the low relative humidities and the gusty winds. This fire activity could spread quite rapidly. And again, this is showing the National Weather Service Los Angeles. Nice graphic here. Some of the interesting gusts, they're up over 55 towards 80 miles per hour for some of the mountains. Lesser, of course, across some of the coasts and valleys there, but watch out. Strong crosswinds here. And again, that fire danger will be quite high. And this is San Diego. You can see some of the peak wind gusts, typical offshore wind locations, a bit more northerly this round than usual. Red flag warnings are in effect for that fire danger. Some wind advisories are out there, and even high wind warnings across some of the higher terrain. And this is Las Vegas and some of the desert areas. Check it out. North wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And this was issued yesterday, November 2nd. Still applies. So if we take a look at the composite reflectivity, I do just want to show the shower activity here down across some of the higher terrain in Southern California, Las Vegas, Nevada, portions of Arizona. That should be wrapping up here as we go into the afternoon and tonight. Then we get a bit of a break. Maybe some northern portions will get hit as we go through Monday with the tail end of that frontal system through the Pacific Northwest, but not a big deal. The big weather story here as we go over the next few days is going to be the offshore winds, and I'll show you why that is here in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the North American model at about 2,500 feet up in the atmosphere. You can see that strong north flow down the valley areas, and kind of that north flow down the coastal regions. And you can see these strong winds coming down across some of Southern California, the higher terrain. As we scroll on in through tonight and on in through very early Monday morning, check it out, that northeast direction there, northerly winds. I did mention that may be a little bit more northerly, but it doesn't really look like that here on the NAM, so I may be corrected. But you can see offshore wind event, low relative humidities, rapid fire spread is possible. And then we go on in towards Tuesday morning. We get a bit of a break. Then we're going to bring another area of high pressure down across the Great Basin. That's going to drive some offshore winds as well. I'll show you that here coming up with the European. So this goes out a little bit further. So we'll see as we go through the day today, you can see the offshore winds occurring. Then we get a little bit of a break on Tuesday, but then you can see them return. And check it out. You notice that offshore flow northerly across Nevada, then northeast across Southern California, the strong north winds, and you can see the northeast direction across the ridges of the Sierra Nevada, and that stretches all the way down out across the ocean area. So a couple of rounds of offshore winds, including ongoing right now and starting today. Now, why does that happen? Well, let's take a look at things here. We put this into motion. You can see what's driving this as we go through the day today. See that high pressure creeping in here? That pushes that northerly wind gradient down across portions of California. See that high pressure setting up right there across Nevada as we go on into tomorrow morning. Then that gradient relaxes a bit, but watch what happens as we start to head off in towards Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and on through Wednesday. That high pressure again takes up residence across the Intermountain West and drives that offshore wind pattern across the state of California. And that's why we get those Santa Ana winds. We build that high pressure, and of course it wants to spread out towards the lower pressure across Southern California. So that's what's going on there. And if we take a look at the GFS, we looked at the European and the North American model. So let's look at the GFS and see if it agrees. You can see the offshore winds going on in through the day today through tonight. Then it relaxes as we go on in through Tuesday. You see the relaxation a bit here as some of the coastal areas still with that strong northerly flow. But then you can see it picks up again. Look at that offshore wind as we go on in towards the day. Wednesday night across a lot of the desert areas. Strong north winds across the Arizona, California border, for example. And these north winds are going to be pretty persistent across the Sacramento Valley as well, all the way on in through Thursday at least. Now, extended forecast stuff here. So you guys have been watching for a while. You're probably starting to learn what inside sliders are. And you can kind of see the high pressure out over here. And we get these troughs that move down, and they're fairly dry, but they can bring windy conditions and some precipitation, sometimes some mountain snows. But they are fairly dry, relatively speaking. So there goes that last one we were dealing with. A little bit of an inside slider here. That one's even a little bit further east still. And we look off into the extended forecast, and you can see maybe a little bit of an inside slider there, and then another troughing that develops off to the extended forecast. That's a little ways out here, but we'll see if this is a pattern that's going to be visiting us here for most of the winter. It potentially could be, because La Nina winters are typically associated with the stronger high pressure out over the Gulf of Alaska here. It means a weaker Gulf of Alaska low, and then we get more of these inside sliders through the La Nina years. So we'll see if this is a pattern that's going to be with us for much of the season. And you can kind of see way off into the extended forecast, another trough dropping down. Take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys are liking these videos. We will break everything down again tomorrow. We'll see just how strong that offshore wind event is going to be as we go through the midweek period. We'll continue to watch off in the extended forecast to see if things change. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.